Good morning, everyone. I have been talking on chapter 8, that is the final chapter of this book, Opening the Hand of Thought. If you have this text, it starts page 139. And today I'm going to talk on one page, page 143. This chapter it was made from Uchiyama Roshi's final Dharma talk at Antaiji, right just before or a day before he left Antaiji. That was on Sunday, so he gave almost 2-hour lectures, or probably more than longer than 2 hours. And when I was at Valley Zendo in Massachusetts, I translated this article, this chapter. So this is my second translation work. The first translation I made was Fukanda Zengi. Anyway, when I start to talk about the history, I cannot end. So in this chapter, he talks about 7 points that he kept in his mind while he was the abbot of Antaiji. And he thought these 7 points are important, so he wanted to transmit these 7 points to his disciples. And I personally listened to this lecture, and I was 26, so almost 50 years ago. So I listened to this talk, and at Valley Zendo, I translated this, and I have been studying this book for almost 50 years. So my understanding of Zazen and Buddha Dharma is based on my teacher's teaching in this book, particularly this lecture. So this is important to me. And I started to talk on the first of the same points. The first one is study and practice the Buddha Dharma only for the sake of the Buddha Dharma, not for the sake of emotions or worldly idea. Actually, this is a teaching from Zuimonki, Dogen's teaching from Zuimonki. So this is Dogen's teaching, so came from Dogen to Uchiyama Roshi and to us. He started to talk about to practice Buddha Dharma for the sake of Buddha Dharma. He said, first we have to understand what is Buddha Dharma. And to explain his understanding of Buddha Dharma, he introduced one koan. That was what I talked last time when I gave a Sunday Dharma talk. And in my record, that was in March. So for many months, I didn't give Dharma talk. So I really appreciate other people who give Dharma talks. First 15 years or so, I was the only teacher here. So I gave all Sunday Dharma talks and Wednesday Dharma study group and the lecture during retreat. I don't believe I could do so many talks. Now I cannot. So I really appreciate today other people give Dharma talks. Anyway, so this koan is very important to Uchiyama Roshi. The koan is, what is the essential meaning of Buddha Dharma? So the point of this koan is Buddha Dharma. What is Buddha Dharma? And this is a conversation between our ancestor, one of our ancestors, whose name was Sekito. In Chinese, this is Shito. Sekito is a disciple of Seigen Gyoshi, and Seigen Gyoshi was a disciple of the sixth ancestor, Eno or Hyoinam. So in our lineage, this person, Sekito, is very important. And he was the master who wrote Sando Kai, or merging of difference and unity, that we still chant at Soto Zen temples almost every morning. So this is one of the most familiar Zen master to us. And someone asked Sekito, what is the essential meaning of Buddha Dharma? Then Sekito said, no gaining, no knowing. No gaining is fu tok. No knowing is fu chi. Fu is not, and tok is to gain or attain or get, and chi is to know. So not knowing, not gaining, not knowing. That means nothing to gain, nothing to know or to understand. So Buddha Dharma is not an object of our thinking or some object we can get and to make my possession. And Uchiyama Roshi said this expression, Futoku Fuchi, is the origin of his Uchiyama Roshi's own expression, letting go of thought or opening the hand of thought. He said, when we think, we grasp some idea with our hands, hand of thought. And when we open the hand, then this thing we grasp is fall down. This is what Futoku Fuchi means, or this is Uchiyama Roshi's understanding of Futoku Fuchi means, not to gain. When we don't grasp and we ungrasp, open our hand, then nothing stays with us. We just sit, when we are sitting facing the wall in the Zendo, our sixth sense organs still functioning. We try not to stop the function of those six sense organs. So when we sit, because we keep our eyes open, so we see the wall, but we don't think wall is the object of this person. Or even when we are sitting, we hear the sound of wind or birds singing, and they come into our sense organs, and yet those sounds is not the object of this person sitting. This person is just sitting, even though sound are there and word is there. The problem is something happening in our mind. All thoughts are coming and going, and usually we think those thoughts are me. But when we sit and those, when we sit, those thought, idea, memory, whatever, coming and going is the same as the wall in front of us, or the sound from outside of the zendo. Even though those are happening, but those are not the object of this person sitting. So we just let them come and let them go, not grasp. To do so, we need to open our hand. And that is the meaning of this expression, no gaining, not to gain nothing, and knowing nothing. We don't sit to understand something, but we just sit. Then the monk asked again, can you say anything further? This is not so clear. So tell me more about your understanding of Buddha Dharma. And Shito said, the expansive sky, the big sky, does not obstruct the floating white clouds. So this entire sky, and within the sky, clouds are coming and going, appear, stay for a while, changing the shape and disappear. So those are the same as our thinking in our zazen. Our zazen is like a sky, expansive sky or big sky, infinitely boundless. And within this big sky, the clouds are coming and going. But the sky doesn't control the clouds. Just the sky, just let those clouds coming and going without interruption. And that is the description of our zazen. And according to Uchiyama Roshi and Shito, this is Buddha Dharma. So, the title of this book, Opening the Hand of Thought, came from this conversation between Sekto and one of his disciples. So I talked about that koan in March. So today I'd like to talk on the next part, page 143, if you have this book, or if you want to check later. So let me read this one page. I used to talk one paragraph each Dharma talk, but I don't have much time to, I'd like to finish, I planned to finish, this chapter before my retirement. But now I think it's not possible. So I need to continue, but I'd like to complete while I was alive. So I talk a little faster. So let me read this one page. We can also say that Buddha Dharma is the Dharma, or that is, the Dharma means reality or truth, realized by a Buddha. The word Buddha means one who has awakened. So Buddha Dharma means what awareness is, or perhaps way of awareness. What is this way of awareness? What is this way of awareness? So that is the main point, but he says, let us first consider what it means to be unaware. or oblivious to what is going on around us. All human beings are deluded by our brains and become absent-minded because of our discriminating minds. One of the many varieties of absent-mindedness is falling asleep. This is not so serious because to awaken from sleep, we need to do nothing more than be full of vigor. Vigor, V-I-G-O-R, vigor, vital. We also get caught up in desire, anger, and group stupidity. These are more difficult to deal with. Those are the things coming and going in our mind. These are more difficult to deal with because they are fabrications conjured up in our heads. We create various illusions in our minds and then jump in, becoming immersed in them. There used to be a dense growth of bamboo at a place in Japan called Yawata in Chiba Prefecture. Once you lost your way in it, you could never find your way out. So there is an expression, Yawata no yabu shirazu, being, in English, being totally lost in the bamboo thicket of Yawata. We human beings make up illusions and then become lost and confused in the jungle we ourselves have created. How can we awaken from these illusions? The only way is to open the hand of thought. So this is the first time I use this expression, opening the hand of thought. Because our thoughts themselves are the source of illusion. When we let go of our thoughts and become vividly aware, all the illusions that create desire, anger, and group stupidity vanish immediately. This is the way of awareness. We must neither fall asleep nor get carried away by our thoughts. The essential point in Zazen is to be vividly aware, opening the hand of thought. So here he starts about, basically about Zazen. So for him, Buddha Dharma means what we experience in our Zazen. First he said Buddha. Shakyamuni was called the Buddha, and Buddha came from Bodhi, and Bodhi is awakening, as you know. And in Japanese, Bodhi is Kaku. And Buddha is translated, one of the translations of Buddha is Kaku Sha. Sha means the person, the person who are awakened. So awakened one came from awakening. And Uchiyama Roshi always talk about Buddha Dharma without using Buddhist technological terms. So these are Buddhist terms, but because his audience are Buddhist scholars, many people who have no knowledge about Buddhist teachings. So he tried to explain or express the Dharma, Buddha Dharma, without using Buddhist technical terms, such as these words. So the expression he used is sameru. Sameru, same Chinese character, same kanji, same word, but sameru is very colloquial Japanese expression. Even a children knows. Sameru means wake up. So sameru is the opposition of sleep or dream. So he said, when he said, the word Buddha means one who was awakened. That is kakusha. And so Buddha Dharma means what awareness is. This is not a good translation. The word he used is sameta arikata. Arikata. Sameta means awakened. And arikata, it's a strange word. It's not difficult word, difficult to translate into English. Arikata is, for example, the way something is. So sameta arikata means the condition of the Buddha who are awakened. And Buddha awakened to this sameta arikata, the way things are. He could see when he had awakening. That is Buddha Dharma, awakened Dharma. And this is his Uchiyama Roshi's kind of a translation into modern Japanese, modern colloquial Japanese. Buddha Dharma is sameta arikata. The way things are seen from awakened eye, seen by awakened eye. If I try to explain in English, it's strange. It's not so understandable to me, but that is what he meant. And next he said, before we think about what is Buddha Dharma or what is sameta arikata, he said, what is this way of awareness? Let us first consider what is means to be unaware. So unaware or oblivious is the opposition of sameta arikata. And the original expression Uchiyama Roshi uses is boketa. Boketa arikata. So sameru and bokeru is the opposition. And bokeru, sameru is easy to explain. but bokeru is kind of difficult to translate. That's why I translate as the way of awareness. And this one, way of unaware. But as I said, this is the opposition of the way things are seen by awakened eye. So this is the way things are seen by not awakened. What is not awakened? Sleepy, or like a dreamy, in our dream. So until he had awakening under the Bodhi tree, he was sleeping or dreaming, but because of that awakening experience, he became awakened one. So until he became Buddha, he was sleeping or dreaming. But when because Uchiyama Roshi uses these very colloquial day-to-day expressions, I think there's one problem. That means, first I have to explain what is bokeru means. Bokeru is verb and boke is noun. Bokeru is basically there are two meanings. One is, for example, to usage. One is, for example, about the photo. When photo is out of focus and it's blur, we say pinboke. Pinboke is pinto ga bokete iru. So that means unfocused. So we cannot see well. That is, I think, one meaning. And the second meaning is about our mind. When our mind doesn't function properly, we call that condition bokeh. Or if I was in such a condition, I am bokete iru. And there are many different kind of bokeh depending upon the causes. The most, one of them is nebokeru. Ne is sleep. Nebokeru means half in a sleep. So our mind doesn't work normally. We are half in a dream. So we cannot see things as they are. And another example is when someone's mind doesn't function properly because of aging. What is the word? Yeah, dementia. Or when our mind doesn't function properly, when we are overwhelmed by some kind of emotion, like anger or hatred or joy. We cannot see the things objectively because we are all overwhelmed by something happening. So those are the example of bokeru. So this is unusual, exceptional condition. And usually we think we are awake, we are normal. That is a usage of these two expressions in our common language in Japanese. But because his talk is very understandable because he used these expressions. But unless we are careful, we forget. If so, our practice of Zazen is to be free from such a abnormal or rare condition of our mind. but we need to understand, the way we think, even in a conventionally, reasonable way. Still, that was in terms of as a Buddhist concept that is still sleeping or dreaming, because Shakyamuni awakened, he became free from both of them. So this is the important point. So our practice is not to become free from, abnormal or exceptional condition of our mind and become normal. But we need, when we study Buddhism, when we talk about worldly things, that's fine. But when we study Buddhism, we have to understand the normal way of functioning of our function of our mind is boketarikata. Because, within this realm, conventional realm, to have some goal or desire to reach that goal might be to become rich or famous or powerful or all those, desirable condition. And to make effort to work hard to gain that kind of things. Unless we do some immoral things, we think, that effort to gain such a thing, gain such a goal, to achieve those things, desirable things, we don't think they are boketeir. But according to, when we talk about Buddhism, the way we do normally to gain something, to achieve something, is still, bokeh. That's why, nirvana, when Buddha had awakened, he entered nirvana. But nirvana is not highest point of samsara. Nirvana is getting out of samsara. And desirable thing, desirable condition is a highest, like a heavenly realm, is a best place within samsara. And we usually make effort to gain or accomplish such a good desirable condition. And we make effort, and sometimes we are successful, sometimes we are not successful, or more often we fail. But all those way of life is samsara, and nirvana is being liberated from that way of life. That is why, these, kind of a funny expression like a good for nothing. Good for nothing is opposition of the way we live in samsara to gain something good. But Zazen is the practice of nirvana, not to reach better place within samsara. That is the meaning of Zazen is good for nothing or no merit. So these two are, this point is really important to understand Buddhist teaching. So our practice of Zazen is not the method or means to get to the better place within samsara, like a heavenly realms or some kind of successful condition within social lives. In conventional world, that is fine. That is no problem. That is okay. That is normal. But if we, because of some obsession, we try to cheat the conventional method, then such people are called boketeiru. So this is a really important point. At least when we try to understand what Uchiyama Roshi is talking here. And he said the causes of this kind of bokeh. What is the good English word for this kind of bokeh? Do you have any idea? It's a kind of obsessed with something emotional or some idea. Somehow we cannot see things as they are. Do you have any idea?
Sounds like there's no word that covers the full range of meaning.
That's a problem.
But maybe like hazy is like,
hazy. Blower, yeah. Not clear. Obsession. So that's why it's kind of difficult for me to talk about Dharma in English. So please invent some English expression that can convey this meaning. Anyway, there are many causes, and he said one is falling asleep. Usually when we sleep in the night, we think that is we don't think that is a problem, but we see, sleepiness or sleeping is a problem when we sit facing the wall. But he said that is not so serious, because he said we need do nothing more than be full of vigor. We try to wake up. Sometimes we have to pinch our face or something while we breathe, deeply again and try to, wake up. So this is one problem in our Zazen. And he continued, this is not so serious, but to awaken from sleep, we need to nothing more than be full of vigor. We also get caught up in desire, anger, and group stupidity. This is a translation of, he continued to use this word bokeh. Desire is a translation of bonno. He called this bonno bokeh. Bonno is delusion, usually translated as delusion, but bonno is much larger than delusion, I think. And also bonno is a kind of a condition based on delusion, not the delusion itself. Bonno, as a Buddhist term, bonno is a translation of Sanskrit of the klesha, or negative function of our mind. And the second is anger. Anger is shinni. He said shinni bokeh. Probably, this by using this bonno, he meant this is greed, desire to gain more and more. When we encounter with something desirable, we want to make that thing to my possession, and I want to get it. That is a greed. And anger is when something happen in our mind when we encounter with something not desirable. We want to stay away, but somehow, they come without my agreement. So we become angry. And even the anger getting calmed down, we still think, I don't like that. That is a hatred. So these first two is two of the three poisonous mind. And that makes our life into samsara, transmigration. We are always chasing after something or escaping from something. And sometimes we can be successful and sometimes not successful. So our life becomes always running and up and down. That is the way we live in samsara. And the final one, the third one, Uchiyama Roshi mentioned is group stupidity. That is not traditional Buddhist idea, but this is the idea of Shohaku Roshi. This is the expression. He said that one of the most serious or common problems in modern time is not personal desire or anger or hatred, but somehow when we form a group, somehow there's something produced. Well, what is a good example? When we think something is good or something desirable, all people want to get that thing. And we stop thinking about why it's good. And we running after something because other people are also running after that thing. So our life becomes competition. That is, according to Shohaku Roshi, that is one of the most serious problems in mass society. When someone gave the mass people some idea, and if certain amount of people are inspired by that idea, and start to running after that thing, most of people running after them. In any field like politics or economics or entertainment, or in all that, almost all areas we live in modern society. Somehow we receive some idea, and if more than 13% of people think that is good, then we cannot counter argue, and we have to somehow run together with those people. That is one of the symptoms of modern society, according to Shohaku Roshi. And Uchiyama Roshi transmit that idea from Shohaku Roshi. So Shohaku Roshi said, our zazen is to say goodbye to those group stupidity. So that means we awake, and see things as they are, whether this is a really good thing. And if so, why is it good? Whether many people think that is good, we have to think by ourselves. That is one of the awakened way with not boketa arikata. And he mentioned one kind of a common expression that is Yawata no Yabushirazu. He says, those ideas or creation of our mind, these are more difficult to deal with because they are fabrication conjured up in our head. So it's produced of our mind, and we think our mind is me. Somehow we identify myself as what I think. So we think what I think is what I am. That is a problem. So sitting and letting go of thought is a way, this person sitting is not identical with those thoughts coming and going, because, even we let go of those thoughts, nothing happened. At least during the Zen. When we stand up and get out of there, somehow we have to think. But if we don't have experience of just sitting and thought is not myself, then we can be even a little bit free from our idea, our desire. And that is important. Anyway, so we create various illusions in our minds and then jump in. So we create that kind of a jungle and we jump into that jungle. Jump in, becoming immersed in them, in those ideas. They are used, and he said, there used to be a dense growth of bamboo at a place in Japan called Yawata in Chiba Prefecture. This expression, Yawata no Yabushirazu, Yawata is the name of the place. And Yabu is thicket, not necessarily bamboo, but any kind of thicket. And it seems this expression, Yawata no Yabushirazu, is well known in Tokyo from the Edo period. There's one place called Yawata. And when someone get into that thicket, the person couldn't get out. I didn't know because I was from western part of Japan. I didn't know this expression. So I just translated his words. But this time, actually yesterday, I searched this Yawata no Yabushirazu in internet, and I found it's not such a big, large thicket, large forest. It's a tiny thicket. It said it's 20 meters square. 20 meters, 1 meter is about 3 feet. So 20 meters like 60 feet square. I saw the picture. I can find anything now in the internet. It's really tiny place. It's a part of a shrine, Shinto shrine. And because of this kind of, what is the word? Kind of a regent, the thicket, even today, is to enter that thicket is still prohibited. There are fenced, and there was only tiny Shinto shrine. So it's not such a huge forest, but it's a tiny place. But somehow from the ancient times, people thought if someone get into that thicket, the person cannot get out. So this is a kind of not because of the thicket or forest is large, we cannot find the entrance, but this is more like a mysterious thing happens. And one of explanation is the place was haunted by some spirit of ancient warriors. Or there are other theories, but nothing makes sense. So I don't really know why such a small thicket is called Yawata no Yabushirazu. And probably Uchiyama Roshi also, he knew this expression, but he didn't know the thicket actually. So he said something, this is a large thicket. And because I didn't know, I thought that was what it meant. Anyway, so it can be a tiny thing, tiny place. But this thicket is created by our thinking. And we jump into that thicket and we don't know how to get out. That become our real universe, real world. And we can take action only within the system or structure of that world because of certain idea about who we are, what this world can be. So in a sense, the political ideology can be the same thing. Or one example, somehow we think that is how we should do, what we should live. So it's really difficult because this forest or thicket is made by ourselves. It's really difficult to get out. So that's why he says, being totally lost in the bamboo thicket of Yawata, we human beings make up illusions, then become lost and confused in the jungle we ourselves have created. So in modern society, to earn a lot of money and become wealthy and to get a high, status and become powerful, almost all people agree those are good things, good positive things, and to make effort to reach, to accomplish those things is a good thing. But from a Buddhist point of view, that is still, we are in the thicket. That idea itself is a thicket created in our mind. And final paragraph, how can we awaken from these illusions? The only way is to open the hand. So this is the word he used, tebanas, opening the hand of thought. Because our thoughts themselves are the source of illusions. So when we think, because this system is created by our thinking, kind of difficult to, this is not right, this is not reality. So we need some kind of a broader perspective, and that is called Buddha's eye. So the only way is to open the hand of thought, because our thoughts themselves are the source of illusion. When we let go of our thoughts and become vividly aware, all the illusions that create desire, anger, and group stupidity vanish immediately. when we open our hand, letting go of thought, those illusions vanish immediately. Unfortunately, they come again immediately also. So we have to keep letting go. He said billions of times. So we cannot let go of them once, then we cannot be free from the rest of our life. That is a kind of idea, some Zen practitioners have, and that is another illusion. So what we do is keep letting go. But whenever those thoughts become the object of this person sitting, then I am thinking about this idea. When we do such a thing, our mind is divided into two parts: the person watching the thought and the thought itself. So this is a basic problem. Our mind separate into two parts. One is subject, another is object. And we try to think whether this is a good thought or not good thought. That is a secret already. So when we find we are doing such a thing, we open our hand, then it's immediately fall down. And then the next moment it come up. That's why we have to continue to practice. There's no time we could say, now I graduated. I'm completely free from the secret. Actually, that is worst illusion, I think. So he said, this is the way of awareness, or sameru, awakening. We must neither fall asleep, in other than, nor get carried away by our thoughts. The essential point in Zazen is to be vividly aware, not to sleep, and opening the hand of thought. So this is a basic understanding or teaching of Uchiyama Roshi about our Zazen. So, that diagram of sleeping and thinking came from this understanding. Well, I don't have time. Probably it's already. I'm sorry. Any question or comments? So this is really the basis of Uchiyama Roshi's teaching.
And when you were talking about group stupidity, I was reminded of the expression we have in English, to get on the bandwagon. To get on the bandwagon.
Bandwagon.
I'm not sure where that phrase originated, but that's the idea. It's like to join everyone else.
What is bandwagon?
I'm guessing that when the circus came to town, or the entertainment came to town,
when they are traveling.
there was a wagon with the band on it, which called attention to the fact that this was coming through, and people came out and followed, and kind of went along with the crowd. I'm just, that's my speculation. But I think you're right, it's the same kind of idea. The circus is coming to town, and it's famous for being famous. We have a lot of this day, today we have a lot of people who are famous for being famous and very little else. Something exciting is happening, and therefore I want to be part of that. So yes, I get on the bandwagon.
Is that related to the expression falling off the wagon?
Well, that's
We fell off.
That's Nirvana.
Well, thank you. Anything else? Please.
I was thinking about that term, boketa. I think maybe, and Owen said it, delusional, I think might be.
Delusional.
I don't know, what is.
It's a delirium.
A delirium? Yeah.
It's a delusion.
delusion.
Oh yeah, delirium. Yeah, that's
Delirium.
right. Delirium. Yeah. So boke would be delirium, and boketa would be delirious.
Yeah.
So it's
Could you tell me the spelling?
D-E-L-I-R.
D-E-L-I-R.
I-O-U-S. Right.
I-O.
Delirious.
Yes. Delirious.
Like if you get punched in the face,
Uh-huh.
you might be delirious afterwards. Like you don't know what's going on.
Uh-huh.
Or you could say you're delirious with joy, like you're so overjoyed that you can't think straight. Or an old person, you might say, oh, he seems like he's delirious. He doesn't know what's going on.
Delirious.
It doesn't. It's not quite perfect because like the picture thing, like you wouldn't say like a picture is delirious. That doesn't work. But for the mind, it works.
Okay, delirious. Okay, I'll check the dictionary.
And I also had a question too.
Uh-huh.
I remember, you know, you were talking about being lost in the thicket, and there was someone, you know, this was on campus at the Buddhist Study Association, and there was a guy there from the business school, and his goal was to work for Goldman Sachs, which is like this bank that's like one of the really powerful banks in the US. And he asked me, can you attain awakening while working for Goldman Sachs?
Did you answer?
Yeah, I tried sort of delicately to answer, but I wonder what you would say if someone...
Well, I don't know.
The question is perhaps will you continue to work for them after you?
So the person is practice meditation for that purpose
Well, I think his idea was like...
because that
he really
meditation
wants-
is helpful to.
I don't think that was the idea so much, but I think the idea was like, can I be rich and powerful and also awakened? Like, can I work to exploit other people while also attaining awakening?
Well, I think Dogen said, you know, the people in the upper class, like aristocrats, for those people it's really difficult to awake and to understand the suffering of all people, because people, lower class people are suffering, and because they think they are okay. I'm sorry about them. So it's a kind of difficult for people in such a high class people.
But most of the monks came from that class. I mean, the whole story of the 6 ancestors, he was the exception to the rule. He was actually a peasant.
Yeah,
But most of the monks came from the aristocracy.
yeah. Even Shakyamuni was a prince, and Dogen was also from aristocrat family.
So they gave up those things. Awaken.
So I don't know how can those people, those rich people, can be aware.